messaging and thought leadership that helps them believe that they have a problem that you might solve.
I like that. All right, Gianna, do the complete opposite. Give me some bad advice on cybersecurity marketing.
Scroll through the Gartner website and pick as many acronyms as possible to add to
All
your
of them.
booth. Mm-hmm.
Well, wait. Well, I'm coming to you. All of them could be your answer. Give me some worse advice.
No, you should definitely tell CISOs that they do not know what they're doing and they're incapable of solving any problem, except if they talk to you because you're a trusted advisor.
You know what? That's damn good advice. Let's start this. All right.
Get ready. It's Super Cyber Friday.
Welcome, everybody, to Super Cyber Friday. My name is David Spark. I'm super thrilled for this topic because this is so perfect for our brand, and I couldn't think of two better people to have on a conversation about hacking vendor competition, an hour of critical thinking about how to get noticed. The two guests, Gianna Whitver, who's his co-founder and CEO of the Cybersecurity Marketing Society, and Andy Ellis, who is the principal over at Duha and also co-host of the CISO Series podcast. All right, lots of different ways to participate. You have the chat room. Here's the bad idea, and I know you guys are going to be able to do a great job with this. Worst way for a vendor to compete. I want to remind people, those of you who have never won a CISO Series jacket, you can participate, and if you win, we have an unnamed list of CISOs that pick this. I'm not going to tell you who this is, but
I can tell you if you really want to know.
No, Andy won't tell you. And but you could win a CISO Series jacket. Repeat winners, you get an Amazon gift card. All right. Also, our 10% better tip is how to be meaningful in the market. You can join us on video at any time by asking, bring me on. Josh will try to get you on camera and ask questions of our guests. Please do that. I want to go to our audience questions before anything else and vote for your favorite question as well. All right. Just got a few more things to mention here. Here's our schedule, some of the classics right there. We'll play the public interest, the Department of Yes, last questions and answers. By the way, if this is your first time on Air Meet, we do something really fun. The meetup we have at the end of the show stays here. We don't go anywhere. You just stay put and you all get thrown into rooms. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stick around for that. Next week, I'm not hosting your favorite, Rich Stroffolino. He'll be here hacking a great topic, hacking the security poverty line. And actually, let's how do we do that little pop-up? I want to do that little pop-up. Call to action here. Oh, we don't have yes, we do. Excuse me. I'm going to put it up right on the big right of there. Whoops. Show on stage right there. So do me a favor, don't hit that little X in the upper right-hand corner. Click the register in the lower left corner, and it will open up another window. You'll still stay in the show, and you can register for next week. So click the left corner to register for the event. All right. And then very last thing I mentioned, stick around for the meetup at the end of the show. We will all do that in Toot Suite. All right. Why now it's not letting me get rid of this. How do I, Josh, can you get rid of the screen for me? Because it does something where I can't get rid of the screen or the presentation, the PowerPoint. Please get rid of that for me if you can, or maybe not. Maybe he's struggling.
We're now stuck like this so that we get better orientation. Oh man, I have to slide back over since we're back in portrait mode.
Yes. Oh, so that's how it would. All right. The two of you, I'm thrilled for this discussion. So here's my question. This is really the line that I hear all the time from vendors is, we have this awesome product. Nobody knows we exist. And fortunately, the CISO series, we help in that respect, but irrespective of us, what do you say to people when they say that, Gianna? Because you've worked in marketing yourself, so you've been this person, and now you're sort of managing the whole community for that matter. What do you say when you hear that?
Gonna give a serious answer. There's no silver bullet. You have to try hard to get in front of your buyer in this really noisy industry.
Yes. All right. Well, then let me ask you this. What would be a first step? I'm a startup. I've just started. What would be your suggestion for a first step?
First step. That's tough. I mean, I hope do you have a website? Do you know what you're selling? Do you have a product?
That's not even your first step. Gianna's already a year into the company if they've got a website. Come on.
Do you have a company? Is it real? Does it exist? I mean, there are a couple things that are first step after you have a website and after you have some base marketing materials, which is understanding who your buyer is, right? Everyone says, "Oh, we sell to security," but what persona in security? Like, who is it? The CISO? It's probably not. Is it the security analyst, security engineer? Knowing who you're actually selling to and the value that your product or solution actually provides to them and getting feedback is a great first-ish step.
All right. What's the first step by your estimation, Andy?
So I think you need to understand what needs to be true for your buyer to be a buyer. All too often people say buyer, but what they mean is persona. For someone to actually be a buyer, they need to believe a set of things, and now it's possible for them to buy. Everything about marketing is brainwashing them to believe these 9 truths. Like, they have to have an environment that has a problem that is urgent. So if you don't know what environment you work in, what problem you solve, and its urgency, like, you can't start to begin marketing, because that's the key part of your marketing, is helping like elevate that. If you're a SaaS security company, you should be talking and getting, luminaries to talk about how every business runs on SaaS, right? Get everybody to be thinking, oh, SaaS is critical to my business. Before you tell them what SaaS security problems are, they've got to believe in that environment. They've got to believe that they own the problem, that their peers want them to fix the problem, and that they own the problem, that they know what the solution space is, your solution is viable, and they have budget. Like, those are the 9 truths. If they believe those 9 things, selling is now much easier. All too often what happens is people identify a target person and they say, like, I want David to buy from me. And now they try to begin marketing at David through a sales call, and that's never going to work.
Well, that is the term account-based marketing. What's your theory on that, Gianna? Do you feel, because some companies are like, we just go in that direction. We pick our targets and we go after them.
You have to know if your targets actually have an inkling of wanting or having
Right.
of your solution or having that problem that you solve. I mean, my target is the biggest bank in the world, right? Like, it's everyone's target. Is it actually a feasible target for you? Like, you should think critically about that before you spend lots of money on ABM marketing to that specific target.
And in fairness, when people say ABM, there's like 5 different definitions, and
Yeah.
every marketing team will have different people arguing about what ABM is. 90% of the people I run into when they start to describe ABM are actually talking about account-based selling, not account-based marketing. Like, account-based
Yes.
marketing is like, how am I building surround sound around this business so that I know that the CFO thinks this is interesting, so that when the CISO comes to try to solve the problem, it's already on the CFO's radar. Like, that's account-based marketing, is making sure that the whole account is aware of the problem you solve, because you're making life easier for your buyer. It is not about learning the predilections of the buyer and going and stalking them better.
All right. Oh, questions are coming in. Great. Thank you so much. Let's see what our first question from Neil Saltman. All right. Show on the
Wait,
stage.
it's from Neil. Wait, we cannot get a hard question up front. That's not fair, Neil.
I haven't read it yet. Do
But
you
it's from
prefer when a
Neil, so I know
vendor?
it's hard.
Hold on. Do you prefer when a vendor comes straight out and says, "Here's how I compare to name competitor," or do you prefer to have them tell you what they do and you come to the conclusion on your own of who they compete with? That's a good question. What do you think, Andy?
So I'm going to say this is a false choice, Neil. You tried to give me a hard question.
He's
I
trying
want
to
them to do
evade the question.
I want them to do a third thing, right? First of all, I do not want them to badmouth their competitor, which is what
That's true.
most times when somebody comes and says, here's how I compare to so-and-so, they're going to say so-and-so sucks and I don't, right? I also don't want them to dodge the question. Like, at some point I'm going to say, who's your competition? And here's how you answer the question. My main competitor is X, and if your problem is shaped like this, you should go buy from them.
Exactly.
Right? You should say exactly why you will lose to the competitor, because it might be that this is not somebody in your ICP. Get them out of your sales cycle as fast as you can. You do not want to go through a proof of value and a technical bake-off if you're going to lose the deal. So be honest. And the bright parts thing is, you can sort of, soft downplay what your competitor's good at and highlight your own successes. Like, if your problem is shaped like this, you should go with them. They're great at solving a problem that just looks like that. The unsaid is, I'm really good at all the rest of the problems.
It can be a good way to anchor what you do when you are that sort of unknown player, right? Like we're like X, but they do this better.
It's like you're selling a movie.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Same idea. You got to compare it to the previous movies that were made. Yeah. So yeah, but I think I think it's okay to use that as a mechanism to ground people's thinking rather than having to explain like what a sim is. You just say, you know, start thinking about company XYZ. All right, you got that in your mind? Okay.
hmm
We do that, but we do this, this, and that, and that. Would that be a more comfortable way of presenting it? Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. And
Hmm.
that's not seen as offensive.
Nope.
Right. But here's the other thing. And this is a line that we've heard in terms of, not bad mouthing competitors, which by the way, Black Hat is coming up. Often, and we've seen this happen before, people who are either moles for the competition or just customers of the competition who just want to go back and tell their client or their customer or who the vendor who they're buying from, I'm sorry, they will go and egg the competition on to get them to say something bad. Gianna, you're smiling. You've seen this happen?
Of course, I've seen this happen. This is like a comp intel play. This is a product marketing play. This is a sales engineer play. Flip the badge, go up. Hello, I'm a buyer. Tell me very in depth about your product and show me a demo. No, you can't scan me. I'm in security. So I would take this as an opportunity to one, poach your competitors' employees because your company is so much better and you can start talking about the comp plan. And hey, they're gonna see your so it's not like a fun feeling because you waste your time and when you're at a booth, for example, or it's like kind of okay, tire kicking to an extreme level. But hey, look on the bright side. Um, this industry is super small, and you never know who's going to get acquired or who you're going to acquire. What's going to be an M&A, and they could see all your stuff anyway. It doesn't
Yeah, yeah.
matter.
Yeah, I think that what John just closed with is really important. A lot of companies and a lot of marketing teams hide their information from their customers because they're afraid of their competitors finding out.
Mhm.
You should just accept that anything you tell to any of your customers, your competition is going to find out. So therefore, you should use it in marketing. Go tell it. Tell the world your competition's already going to find out what your product looks like. So don't hide your product behind an impossible to schedule demo.
They're already running fake
We hear
POVs with
that
you.
all the time in
Mhm.
that they don't put up a public demo because they fear that the experience is like their secret sauce. I'm like, yeah, but you got customers who see it. They could post it and anybody could do a demo
No,
video
you
of
have
it. Like,
you have customers who are close to your competition and are literally walking them through your live product. Just accept that. If you have any
Yeah.
success at all, then your competition has direct access. I would get this. This is one of the things I hated. I would occasionally have friends in the industry when I was at Akamai would literally mail me technical specs and screenshots of my competition. And I'm like, you can't be doing this. Do not put me in this boat. Like I would go report it to our council and delete it. But like I got it unsolicited. I cannot imagine the people who are out looking for it are having a much harder time getting it.
by the way, let me throw this in. And a friend of mine, Robert Strong, a comedian magician who often performs at Black Hat and also RSA, um, he said this. If someone really is coming up and egging you on to just badmouth the competitor, like, what do you think of company XYZ? Always say something positive, but completely inconsequential. So, like, oh my God, they have the best balloons. I love the color of their logo. Like,
Yeah.
They're the
just,
best balloons.
Love
What
that.
shapes are they?
Yeah.
I love it. All right, more questions coming in. Great. Get lots more questions. Here we go. Aman Sood. Do you think CISOs are too loyal to their existing vendors, even when better tech exists? Is it an inertia versus innovation a real challenge? I also think it's the pain of rip and replace. Andy?
So the answer is yes, but that's not actually a problem for the CISO. It's just a problem for you, the vendor. Here's the reality. CISOs have thousands of problems to go solve. And there is no vendor who solves every problem perfectly. Just start and accept that that's the reality. So let's imagine that I'm a CISO, I buy a solution, it solves 75% of my problem. That is good enough. You come along like, look, I can solve 80% of your problem. Like, unless you are basically trivial on my bandwidth, there's no opportunity cost for me to upgrade. I have to compare that 5% improvement against the 75% improvement I can get by just rolling out some even crappy solution in an area where I have nothing. You're not competing against inertia. You're competing against the opportunity cost of doing something else that has nothing to do with you.
All right, we actually have our next game. Let's do this.
Do you know what others are thinking? On the public interest.
All right, here we go. I have not seen this. This was created. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. This was created by our very own Rich Stroffolino, the public interest. It's a simple game. 4 questions. Let's see how we all do. Audience, please play along. Most average monthly search queries. What do you think gets more? Competition or rivalry, Andy?
Oh, I'm going to go with rivalry.
Gianna?
Competition.
I'm going competition too. All right. The correct answer is competition.
It is
All righty.
competition. Okay.
All right.
I was hoping that like sports would get involved and like
Well,
people would looking up like the rivalries between schools
yeah, but
or sports teams.
But competition's a far more used word than
it is.
rivalry.
It is. But I was trying to look, if I got it right, then everyone would have been like, oh my God, Andy was brilliant. He got it right. Now everybody's just going to forget. They're like, I couldn't believe Andy guessed on that one.
That is usually not the reaction in this game. All right, next one. Sorry, John and I each have one. We're going for our 4 for 4 here. Platform, product, solution. This one is tough. Holy
That is
crap.
tough.
What do you think here?
Me?
Yeah, Gianna.
Product.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
go
agree
product.
with John and go with
Yeah,
product.
we're all going product on this one. Let's see. Correct answer is product. We all did well. 2 for 2. Andy's got 1. All right, next one. Consolidation, disruption, or saturation. Ooh. I'm going G on this one, disruption.
Agree.
I want to, but there's no way for me to catch up. So, but I'm going to go with G so I don't fall further behind.
All right, well, let's see what happens.
Because
we all lost. You could have caught up. You could have
we
caught
actually
up
went
if
the
you weren't a
worst one.
lemming.
Yeah.
All right. So our perfect streak is now ended, Gianna. So it's still 2
Very
to 1.
sad.
Last question. Analysis, assessment, comparison, or evaluation?
Oh my gosh. It's like an SAT here. What is
Yeah.
this?
I'm going to go with comparison.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with analysis.
I'm going comparison too. I kind of like a comparison. The correct answer is we're all wrong.
Oh,
Assessment.
look at that.
Look at that.
But I
Okay.
convinced David to take the worst one with me. So I'm really bad at this one, by the way, folks. So don't ask me to do your SEO.
Well, there you go. Andy is awful at SEO. All right, more questions have coming in. This is great. All right. Whoops, show on the stage from Amy. From Amy Savrin, how do
Hey,
CISOs
Amy.
How do
Didn't realize Amy
CISOs
was
view
here.
the balance between marketing speak and actual meaningful buzzwords like visibility, comprehensive, etc.? When every vendor talks about visibility, reducing alert fatigue, and more, how can vendors stand out? Okay, so by the way, are we saying in general how do vendors stand out? But this is a really, really good example because every vendor says this. We give you visibility, reduce alert fatigue, in the ones that are playing in the spaces. Andy, I mean, of course, what else would they say?
I mean, so in a sense, this is one of the challenges, which is you sort of have to say these things because they're like writing, HIPAA and GDPR on your resume. Like if you just don't have those, you never get it past the recruiting filter. And so you have to have these words here. What I'm always looking for is, can I tell what you do? I understand your product. In fact, I would get this all the time. In fact, part of my standard vendor rebuff email, which a lot of you can see on the web, if you just
by the way,
Google vendor rebuff.
I'm going to pull that up. Yeah, the Andy Ellis
like you've got there. One of the things in the Q&A is like, if what you said is language I could use to describe my company, we're just done. Like we are the best enterprise grade solution for protecting businesses against today's threats. The heck does that mean? But I have seen people that have phrases like that.
Yeah. Here, I'm pasting Andy's rebuff right in here. If you have never seen this, it's how many years ago did you write this?
Should have the date on it if you go.
Does it?
No,
I
it
didn't even
doesn't.
look.
Does 2017 now. It's got to be early. This
Oh,
was
so
posted in
2017.
2017. but I'd been
Yeah.
doing it for a while before that.
Well, so at least
Yeah, so
8
it's at
years
least
ago.
8 years old, but I'm pretty sure that it is a lot older than that.
All right.
I would
Go
say
ahead,
if you can
Gianna.
add a very short like how to it, right? Like we improve visibility into like how. Everybody does that, like Andy said. Everybody stops threats, everybody reduces the workload on your team. Everybody makes you more compliant. Like how? How?
You should have a barbecue pitch. Like, how would you explain what your company does to a friend at a barbecue that's stripped of all the marketing speak? So even though your slides have to say this, your website has to say this, the moment you have a CISO in front of you, you can say, here's what we do. And that is just the how, isn't about solving the business problem because they've heard that enough. But now it puts in context. What problem am I solving? Well, here's how I'm doing it. You can, CISOs are smart. They can connect the dots for you.
I like the make sure you ask the how. Here's another question I have, and this I faced myself recently, and I will blame myself for being such a screw up. But
We'll blame you too, David. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah,
That's fine.
absolutely. You're such a screw up.
no, I figured it out eventually though. I was pitching the CISO series. I have a sponsorship package in it, and I would have the same calls where the same questions were happening over and over again, and literally I didn't connect the dots and go, "Hey, idiot! If people are asking the same questions, maybe your package isn't written right."
Yes.
I mean, your
took a-
packages are super long, David.
No, you should see the new one. The new one I've completely redone.
I remember buying
but-
from you like years ago, and it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well,
click the
yeah.
link, and
So
then
it's
click the
it's
link.
completely rewritten. It's completely done. It's now like it's a Google slide presentation, minimal words. It's way better now, way better. But it took me a good 50 swift kicks in the butt to say, David, change this. How should we be more reactive, I guess? Because I don't want to wait to 50.
Right.
I
Well, you
want to, when
shouldn't.
I hear it for the first time or the second time,
Right.
like, how do we calculate this in our
Here
mind?
is a professional skill that everybody needs, whether you're in marketing or on the security side of the house. The moment you do this or you hear somebody repeat themselves, they said a thing, they got an objection, and they basically said the same thing. You need to stop and take a step back and realize there's a communications failure, that the speaker believes they said a thing, and what they heard from the other person doesn't even connect to them. Like, they're like, why are you asking this? I already answered the question. No, you didn't answer the question. If you're repeating yourselves, it means you didn't answer it the first time, and you almost certainly didn't answer it the second time. You have to change your language. You have to change your framing. You got to do something. But I see this all the time. In fact, my superpower as an executive has often been to sit in a room, hear two people arguing with each other, tell them to pause and state using completely different language something, and each one believes that I agreed with them and overruled the other one. Because these two people didn't disagree. They just refused to use language that the other one could understand.
Exactly. They were arguing over agreeing.
Right.
I'll throw in a little something tactical. So obviously now everything's recorded and a lot of calls are recorded. If the calls are recorded, you could set up automations and workflows to actually pull repeat questions out of them so that you
Oh,
can
that's
track it.
good.
If you want to do it manually, just write it down. Oh, another person had the same question. It seems like there's been 3 of the same question. Time to address the question more proactively.
Right.
And then, of course, if you are a security marketer, an in-house full-time security product or services marketer, join the Cybersecurity Marketing Society and feel free to put it out in front of our friendly, helpful community. And we'd love to help workshop.
Yeah. By the way,
Content.
and I have not mentioned this, if you are a cybersecurity marketer and you're part of this right now, you should be going to Gianna's event, the Cybersecurity Marketing Con, which is happening December 7th through the 10th. Now, here's
It's not a
also what you need to
con.
know.
That's short for conference.
Conference. No, it's not a conf. It's a con. And I will hold it. I'll go. We sponsor the bags there. So you see the wonderful CISO series logo along with the there. So we are a proud sponsor of the event. And I'll also be shooting some video there as well. As I will be at Black Hat. If any of you are going to be at Black Hat, let me know. And if you see me on the trade show floor with my camera crew, please stop by. I'll have a few questions to ask you on camera. All right. I have another question from James Sparrenberg. This is more selling, though. How often do you end up selling into a client who is using your competitor for a feature they are not even trying to use from your product? So, like, this is common where there's overlapping features all the time. This is, I mean, incredibly common. Yes.
Oh, this is awesome. Like when you get this, this is where like having account management is fantastic. Like if you're selling into a competitor, into a customer, and like they're willing to buy from you while also buying from your competitor, don't try to displace the competitor at that moment. I see too many teams do this. They're like, oh, we can do everything the competitor's doing and what you're trying to buy us for. And now you're in a competitive bake-off. You've signaled to the competitor, get in, you sell whatever feature they wanted to buy you for, usually the gap your competitor had. And then once you're in, you can be like, hey, you know that you bought us for free, and for free, we do what you're doing them for. You want to just migrate over? Because that migration cost is expensive. Don't add it into your sales cycle if you don't need to. Sometimes you will. Sometimes you'll need to be competitive because you need to steal their budget. But don't pick a fight if you don't need to. Get your nose in the door, get planted, and then expand.
Land and expand, baby. Yep.
By the way, a buzzword bingo, or just a buzzword drinking game that Dwayne Graham suggests, which, by the way, well, I'm going to have to say it because it may be picked as our best bad idea for our Department of Yes game, but I already know how to make this really advantageous for you. All right, please. Oh, we got more questions. Please get your questions in. We want to get to as many of them as we possibly can. All right. Neil has another one. What is an example of something a vendor did during an intro meeting that was unique and kept your attention? Have you had a unique, memorable first meeting? All right. So let's go on the positive here. We all know what not to do, like give the bios of all the founders. What has worked in a first meeting, Andy? The best one you've ever seen? Think about it.
So honestly, the very best one I've ever seen was actually from a marketing vendor, not a security vendor.
Mhm.
It was Sprinkler.
Okay.
And it was actually when I'd won the SC Magazine Reboot Award for being a thought leader. And they made for me like a little slide template image that says, Andy, you're a certified thought leader. And it had like a picture of a desk with my name on it. It had a Patriots football, wine bottles, like all of the things. So whoever put this together had gone and like stalked me and put together the same. They just gave it to me. They're just like, here you go. This is what we do for companies. We help you stand out with personalized marketing. We help you set up your voice. And like that has stuck with me. They actually said, we'll do the half hour or hour of work that's relevant to what we do to sell to you and give it to you. And I've seen security vendors have done similar things. The ones who walk in and say, hey, by the way, do you know you have unsecure systems? And we're going to tell you which ones. The ones who say you have unsecure systems, take a meeting so I might convince you to buy. I don't want to talk to. But the ones who are like, hey, I found a serious problem. Here you go. Don't take my call until you go fix this. Also a fantastic one.
All right,
Love it.
Gianna.
I love what Andrew said. Demonstrate that you actually know the problems my business is facing. So, two things there. One, keep your deck short and sweet. And like you said, David, it's not about, oh, the founders are so amazing and we made this product and let's talk about it for 45 minutes. And then
Yeah,
we'll leave 5 minutes
nobody
for
goes, oh my
questions.
God, they went to Harvard?
Yeah,
They
who
went to
cares?
MIT?
I
Right.
also went to
Stop
Harvard.
everything.
And I went to MIT. And I went
Hey,
to
I went to
Yale.
MIT. Come on.
I didn't go to any of those places.
Yeah.
He went to MIT.
But
So
the other
actually,
thing
really
too
key
is
point here for marketers. So I just want to interrupt on this one. You have a brand deck for selling to VCs while you're raising money. You need to understand that is not what you take to your buyer, and know which slides, like who your founders are. The buyers don't care.
Mhm. Another impressive thing is, from the vendor side, you have to consider everyone's time, but to bring the CEO or the product leader to the call, not just an AE and not just an SDR, but bring your technical people who could talk like at the same level as the person that you're trying to sell
Oh,
to.
that is super, super critical. I can't tell you, like years ago when I would take tech meetings, the number of sales calls that I would have where I'd start asking questions and it was like, we'll have, that's something one of our people get back to you. I'll have something. I will tell you, no one ever came back to me, ever. It never happens. It just never happens.
That's just
I
you,
never-
David.
By the way,
Speed.
one telltale sign that no one's ever going to come back to me, they don't write the question down. That's a good telltale sign. All right, here's one from Aman Sood. Do you think vendor neutral platforms like Gartner MQs or peer review sites actually help buyers or just add more noise and complications? I think I kind of feel they narrow the field sometimes.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So at my last company, we had success being, shortlisted for various companies who are interested in solving the exact problem we solved. So, Gartner and these various sort of advisory solutions and analyst firms help the buyer understand, hey, what maps to my problem, and gives them a short down select list.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they're buyers that's how they operate. If you're not in a Gartner MQ, you are just not going to buy into them. So you should understand that, decide if that's your market. I think there's a second order question, which is this actually helpful for the industry at large that we could debate for a very long time? And if somebody wants to have that conversation, I think we should have it in December at Cyber Marketing Con.
Ooh, I love it.
Please come
Yes.
to Cyber Marketing Con.
I love
Please.
this.
It's, by the way, this will be my third Cyber Marketing Con.
Same
I
for me.
always have a great time. Gianna puts on a really, really fun show. And I will say, you up your game each time. So
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to what you're going to do this time.
Thank you. I can't wait to share. I cannot share. The two things I will share is we've added 2 new tracks. So last year we launched a founder CEO track, which was successful. We're bringing that back again. So founders and CEOs, feel free to come and you'll have a curated track just for you.
Mhm.
And we also are starting a sales track this year. So AEs, SDRs, sales folks.
You're
come
letting
to Cyber Marketing
salespeople
Con.
in?
Yes. They are part of
Because they have bigger budgets than marketers do for
No,
training.
it's
Come on.
because sales and marketing are friends, and they're both the two sides of along with product and customer success. They're part of the go-to-market, right? We can't do everything in a silo. Also, they only get 1 day, but that's fine. Well, maybe we'll make it bigger next year.
It'll all be okay. It will. But I know the show, and also it's the 7th through the 10th, but I think it's really 8th and 9th are the full days, right?
Yeah. So Sundays kind of arrive. We have a 3-hour AI N8N workshop, hands-on. You're
Mhm.
going to leave with an actual
Oh,
agent.
I've done
for
that
your-
2 years in a row. It's the same woman who's doing it.
Yes.
She's
Anashika
amazing.
Babu.
She
She's
goes
so
way
fabulous.
too fast, so that's my only
No,
complaint.
that's why we're making it 3 hours this year. Because I
Okay.
was like, because she wanted more last year, and we
She
were like,
went
we don't have the
blinding fast,
time.
but it was
Yeah.
amazing. Like, I learned a ton from her. She was great.
Yeah.
What's her name again?
And
I'm sorry.
Dr. Anashika Babu,
She's amazing.
CMO and co-founder of
S-
a couple security companies. Actually.
I had lunch with her only to discover that her family was trying to push her to be a dentist.
Yep.
But-
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she did this.
She was
much
like, I don't
happier
like
she's doing
this.
this.
So Sunday is workshops. We have our opening night reception. Monday, Tuesday, full days plus nighttime activities.
Mhm.
Like really cool stuff. Austin,
Awesome.
Texas. And then Wednesday is most of the day. And if you are a investor, a founder, or a CEO, we also invite you to a very nice VIP dinner at the end of Wednesday.
Ah, look at that.
Mhm.
All right, let's get back to any more questions. Yes, we have more questions. Oh, look at this. Lots more have come in. All right, from here we go. Sean saying Courtney asks, Courtney Wilbanks. Am I pronouncing? Or yes, or is that yes, Wilbanks or Ybanks? I can't see that. Is there an L in there? Yes, there's an L.
I think so.
Courtney Wilbanks. My apologies, Courtney. When it comes to a startup, Gianna, for you, obviously Courtney doesn't want to hear from you, Andy. What have you seen work
Yeah,
the
screw
best
you, Andy.
as sales is trying to identify their ICP?
Yeah, so the founders should be trying to identify their ICP before they hire sales, but a lot of times founders and the
Ideal
founding
customer
team,
profile, by the way.
yes, they start and they hire sales before marketing. So usually it is sales trying to figure out, hey, who's our ICP, who buys our product. The answer is to go outbound into the market and get feedback. That is how you can know what resonates with your buyers and which ICPs are relevant to your product, as well as continuing to work with the founders and with CISOs and friendly security people and your investors, if you have them, to kind of funnel down on what your actual ICP is. Because it's not everybody. It really isn't everybody.
Now I just blanked out on something. Okay.
I'm going to jump in.
Courtney
even though
doesn't want to
Courtney
hear
didn't
from
want-
you, Andy, but I'm
No,
going to
she
let
doesn't
you
want to hear
answer
from you. She's going to hear from me anyway.
anyway.
The single most important thing is to start defining your negative ICPs.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to make your ICP big. Look, here's the real art of sales. is figuring out who is not in market and stop wasting time and energy on them. And sometimes they're in your ICP, but they're not going to be a buyer right now. But a lot of times they're not going to be in your ICP. So you need to learn what are the markers of somebody who's not a good fit and write those down, because you want to narrow down, because ICPs end up being way too big. Comes like, oh my God, my ICP, I've got 700 companies in it. No, you want to have like 50 if you're an early stage startup. Like 700 is crazy. There's like 50 ideal customers. There's people near it, but you got to figure out why people are not ideal. And if they happen to come your way, great, but that's not who you're focused on.
Yeah, they have to be early adopter. They have to be this size company. They have to have this specific tech setup in their firm, etc.
Sometimes what companies are they already buying from might define your ICP. Like if you sell something that it's like an add-on to Wiz or Orca, like, oh, after you've implemented this, come do this. Great. Your negative ICP is they have no cloud security solutions. I'm not their first one.
I like it. Oh, by the way, if I have not mentioned our Super Cyber Friday that is coming up, please click the button at the bottom of the screen. You see where it says register? Go ahead and just click on that. Opens up another window. You can register for next week's event, which is Hacking the Security Poverty Line. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. Hacking the Security Poverty Line. The wonderful Wendy Nather is the one who coined it, but she will not be joining us for this. But this is going to be a great discussion. We talk about this all the time on our programming, Hacking the Security Poverty. So please go ahead and click on that down below. All right, more questions are coming in. And
Gary's comment is very funny, by the way.
It is. I love Gary's.
What did Gary say?
He said, "You're not in our ICP if you didn't accidentally hire a North Korean spy."
Right.
Surprisingly large ICP.
Yeah. What if I knowingly hire them? Is that okay?
All right, Josh,
cheaper.
give me some of our bad ideas for that matter. And let's go to our question. I know we have a few more questions here. Okay. James Sparrenberg asks, people do this. Have you ever fired a customer?
Yes.
Gianna?
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay. And is this, because we've heard this story of if you have a lot of customers that you literally look at like low to high or high to low, whatever, and just like cut out the bottom 10%. I mean, have you done it strategically like that? Or have you just gotten rid of people who are giant pains in the ass?
One reason is we're sunsetting the technology.
Okay.
We launched a new thing. It doesn't fit in your environment anymore. We're so sorry. We're reconfiguring the whole infrastructure and it will no longer fit to you.
That's one reason. What reasons have you fired a customer, Andy?
I've fired them for being, upside down on costs, right? We sold a product assuming that you wouldn't use it. Oh, wait, you use it a lot. We now lose money on this product. So have a nice day. Fired customers for taunting the bad guy. When we had a DDoS defense service, we had a customer who would advertise how big the attacks were and tell people to bring it on. So we're like, get off the damn platform. Like, have a nice day. Like, sorry, like, and just to be clear, you were a pro bono customer anyway. So really,
oh my gosh, this is like a nonprofit or a hospital.
Yeah, I won't go into further details because some people probably already know who I'm talking about, and that's not couth.
That's pretty funny.
Right, fired people just because the account management was too high, that they were just so expensive to deal with that when it came time for renewal, just intentionally put an insane renewal cost in front of them, and they got really huffy and went away. And they're like, "Oh, I'm going to this competitor, and they're giving me a discount." And we're like, "Awesome." Go ruin their margins by making their customer service organization bad. Yeah, no, absolutely. If you're not firing customers, it probably means you're too desperate.
Two other things. Shelfware. You are shelfware, and you're like, hey, this is actually going to end bad. Let's get you out. like goodbye. So like, we're not helping you. And there's a little ethical component there. Like, let's end this contract. We don't want to just take your money for not providing any value.
I mean, I've had.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off.
Abusive customer.
Oh, yeah.
Abusive customer also.
Well, I would also add, I mean, and this is actually, it's not firing. It's just you don't even bother taking them on. The ones who make it very clear they're bottom feeders. They're like out of the gate. They're asking for discounts without even hearing a pitch. It's just like, oh, come on, guys. You seriously?
Yeah. There's lots of reasons. No, it's usually either cost or personality are the two biggest reasons. Either you're a bunch of jerks,
Yeah.
or you cost us too much, whether it's you're overusing the service or abusing our people.
Yeah, that's not good.
And sometimes it's just you want to be vindictive because they annoyed you, but very rarely.
All right. I will just say Anthony, here we go, has the $64,000 question. If either of you have a good answer to this, you will make everyone on here extremely happy. Here we go. When you're from Anthony Shabanov, when you're a startup with a product that outshines the competition, I've heard this a lot, but don't have the marketing cash to blast it up yet. I've heard that a lot. How do you get the right people? I've heard that a lot. And who are they to actually see it without being annoying? I've heard that a lot. Or sounding like a walking pop-up ad. I've heard that a lot. I've heard all of this many, many times. So I'm going to start with Gianna. Do you have a good answer to this question?
Yeah. So when you don't have a lot of money, lean into your founder brand, right? So the thing about startups is usually it's an underdog story. People love that. They eat it
Mhm.
up. If you don't have funding, if you're really bootstrapped and have no cash for marketing, or you have funding but not enough for marketing, start posting on LinkedIn. I'm very serious about this. Start posting on LinkedIn. It's free. Do videos, do content, try your best. We understand maybe you're a technical founder and you're not like a marketer at heart, but talk about why you're doing this, why it matters to the industry and the world, and share your story. And it might seem like a walking ad sometimes, but if you're going to found a company and sell products and solutions, you kind of have to do a little bit of ad.
Yeah.
Andy?
The trick is you're going to be a little bit of an ad, but you don't want to sound like an ad all the time. Right.
Mhm.
And this is what people get wrong is they say, well, I'm trying to do marketing so that I can sell. No, you're trying to do marketing so that people want to buy. It's a very big difference between those. So I absolutely agree with Gianna. Like, just do your own founder marketing, but stop worrying about activity and start worrying about message. What are the things you want to talk about that you're great at talking about? Like, if you're running like a sock and you see a lot of amazing things, start talking about the amazing things that you see, the insights that you're gathering, so that people are like, hey, that brand has really smart people who have actionable insights. Maybe I want to talk to them, right? Or talk about why people might want to use any sock. Like, remember, 1/3 of marketing is for your space, not for your company. Like, it's helpful if your competitors are all already doing that for you, but if you're trying to build out a new space, you have to stop trying to sell your company and actually sell the space. So here's why you need this in your sock, rather than just saying, here's why you need me in your sock. Because if
Mhm.
they don't believe they need something shaped like you, they're never going to buy from you.
Exactly.
All right. We have a call that just came in.
Uh-oh.
Hello, welcome to the Department of Yes, where no request is ever rejected.
All right. I am going to show this on stage. Here we go. This came from Liz Morton. I'm starting with you, Andy, on this. Again, it's the Department of Yes. You have to tell me why you want to do this. You cannot
Okay.
reject this idea. You may not be facetious. You have to tell me why you want to do this.
Okay,
Make
so I
your
need to give you an honest and fair and truthful answer. I can't
truthful
be
answer of
sarcastic.
how you're going to
Take away sarcasm is so not nice, but I'll do it.
No, because we want to see how we can turn any bad idea into something
Okay.
valuable. All right. Make your marketing materials vague and difficult to understand. Do this purposely and let your salespeople interpret them how they see fit. Extra points if they also handle all their own branding. Why do you want to do this?
Oh, this is actually a brilliant idea. Just to be very clear, you all think this is a bad idea. Here's the reality, which is your marketers are so disconnected from the customers that when they try to get specific on the branding and control it narrowly and say this is only what you can say, you end up with disastrous calls. So what you really want to do is give your sales teams the flexibility, build surround sound around them that gives them that flexibility to pivot and listen. And if a customer walks in and like your job is, let's say that what you actually sell is a house sitting service, and you walk in and somebody's like, but I've got dogs that need walking, let the sales rep sell dog walking. Like, yeah, of
Mhm.
course, our house sitter will go walk your
Well,
dog.
the marketing message should just be stop threats and leave it at
Yeah,
that.
like if you say stop threats, like, and now the sales rep gets to go in and the person says, well, here's what I want to buy. And the sales rep knows what you do. And they're like, oh, absolutely. Here's how we'll solve that problem for you. do that in a way that the marketing team didn't know. Your marketers should now fast follow sales. You should basically do every brand request a sales person asks for. If they send you like a bad set of slides, make them pretty, send them right back, and then send them out to the rest of the sales reps. Say, here's your library of amazing things that your peers are doing. This is exactly how you actually should be running your product marketing organization.
All right, very good. All right, Gianna, good answer. Andy, very good answer. Why do you want to do this?
This is brilliant. So I love this idea because you know what? Building a company is not a science, it's an art. And actually, I
Mhm.
think we should actually take a step further. We should remove all words from our solution briefs and from our flyers and from our website and just have various colors and maybe some shapes
Icons.
and icons. And you know what? People love Monet for a reason because it's very blurry. Have your salespeople interpret the marketing materials and the solution on the call and describe it a la an art museum to your prospect. They will
I
love it.
love this idea. All right, I'm going to you're right, another
Marketing
one.
karaoke. We don't know whose slides you're going to be showing, but there'll be someone's.
And they'll be
Okay,
blue and pink.
Here we have, whoops, I got one from Neil Saltman. Hold on. We're going to drop this one. And Gianna, you're going to go first on this one.
Okay.
Hold on. Whoops. Here we go. Share on the screen. All right. Here's a bad idea. Send a cyber professional data from their so you're sending the target data from their personal social media and other sites to show them how easy it is to get their data, and then telling them you can prevent that in the future if they look at your product. So this is kind of like the opposite of, like, we've heard this thing where you send one AirPod in the mail. If you want to get the second one, we'll send it to you if you have a meeting with it. So this is the flip of that, of this is essentially a form of blackmail right here.
Mhm.
So what do you think? Why do you want to do this?
I mean,
Gianna?
this is amazing. How much marketing can you get from taking these unsuspecting moments that people have and putting them in front of your customer to say, "Hey, we saw you did this. It was really bad. We don't want other people to know that you are an evil piece of garbage. So why not buy our product?" And you know what else you could do is a very vague threat is send them a Coldplay CD. I think
There
that
you
would
go.
help too.
Yeah. Don't get caught at Coldplay.
All right,
Um,
hold on. Thank you. That was great. Good job, Gianna. All right, Andy, why do you want to do this?
So I love this. I think that, in fact, I was talking to a startup the other day that they sell a defensive solution, but they do for pay proof of value. And part of the proof of value is actually pen testing the thing that they're going to defend against.
Mhm.
And like they find more people hire them to do the pen test than to actually buy the product, which fascinating, like pisses the CEO off. He's like, I don't want NRR, I want ARR. But this is what you're doing. You're giving me a free pen test of social media. And then you're gonna say, look, this is what the adversarial threat brief is. And I would go all the way further and I would write it up like here's how the Chinese look at it. Here's how North Koreans look at it. Here's how your competitors would look at it. Here's the exact profile of what they care about, what they're going to do with it. And here's what it would look like if you were using our service. Like all this stuff gets stripped out. You only think you're using Twitter. We actually have an app on your phone that deletes every one of your Twitter posts before it can even go out. But when you look at Twitter, you see your posts as if they really went out. So you think you're engaged on Twitter, but realistically, nobody actually knows what you're doing.
All right. Excellent answers, both of you.
Sir, yes, sir.
I was very impressed. That was good. You were both excellent. We knew we wouldn't have any problem getting you to answer anything on the show. All right, let me do this. I'm going to do the sort of the beginning of the wrap up here, but we still got plenty of time left. Oh, you know what? No, let me do this. Let me do one question, then I'll do the wrap up, then we'll do the final question. So let's try to get through as many as we have two other questions from Darius. How do vendors improve their relationship with customers once they are on board with the vendors? Something we're also trying to do. And we are making a very concerted effort on this thing. Gianna, I'm throwing to you first on this one.
Be fast. So this is something we're also working at the Cybersecurity Marketing Society to do, is when people have questions, like fast response, fast turnaround, I think really matters. It shows that they care about you, that they're invested in helping you onboard and understand the product. So I think speed in terms of like a customer success or a customer experience perspective really matters.
I would also add here, anytime someone's angry is wonderful, I think,
It's
because
an opportunity to
an
provide
opportunity.
great customer
No,
service. It's not
right.
wonderful.
No, it is wonderful because it's an opportunity to deliver great. Because in every case I've had this, I've always turned the person. I've always turned them from angry to happy because
Yeah.
you show you care about about this and they're passionate about it and they do want an answer. And someone was upset about something that happened on our headline show. Rich, actually, it's not me, Rich, our producer and host, he responded very thoughtfully back. The person was ecstatic in the return, but very angry at the first email. Andy is looking up his book. By the way, if you've not read 1% Leadership, Andy's book, he, by the way, has lots of extra copies behind him. Obviously, it's not selling so well because he's got so much sticking around in his
Selling
house.
really well because I keep buying all the copies.
I have read the book. Actually, I would hold it up and being stupid. It's sitting on my bookshelf upstairs, but I have a signed copy. By the way, I believe I'm the first person, and I don't know if there's a second, who read the book before getting it signed. Has anyone else done that?
Oh no, I've absolutely had people do that.
Read it before getting it signed?
Oh yeah, no, I've had people who bring it to me. But anyway, there was the chapter. I don't know if it'll show up.
All right, everyone read that right now, quickly. Take a screen cap picture. Read that. What does it say? I can't read that.
Failure is an
Failure
opportunity.
Failure is
to
an
provide-
opportunity to provide great customer service. There you go.
There you go, chapter 53.
So Andy, that it's just take advantage of the opportunity. That's what. Hey, drop. There you go.
There we go. It's hard when it's like mirrored, and I don't expect it to be mirrored. So
There you go. All right, I got another question here from Amy Savarin. What are examples of non-negotiable pieces of content CISOs need in order to go back to company stakeholders and make the business case for buying a solution? That is a really good question. Andy, I throw it to you.
So this one is going to vary. I wish I could give a simple answer, but Amy does not believe in easy questions because Amy knows the answer to all the easy questions. So I think that you have to have what is the problem you're solving in a clear and easy to express way. Best if this actually comes from a third party. If you can have an op-ed, something else that goes out in front of this. Like this is where CISOs often go wrong, is they cold introduce a problem and a solution at the same time. So you want to have ways to talk about the problem before you bring the solution. This is non-negotiable. This content must exist. You don't have to write it. In fact, even if your competitors write it, that's okay. Better if it doesn't have their brand on it. But that's the first thing is, why does this problem matter? Then you're going to have to walk in with like, what is it going to cost us to implement this? How quickly are we going to first see value? And then how long is it going to take to continuously provide value over time?
Very good. What's your take on this, Gianna?
Here's where your ABM chops come into play, is you can start surround sounding that content around the rest of the buying team. And I agree with Andy that it is like, depends. Like, is it a CISO of a small company? Is it a CISO of a Fortune 100? They're going to have different pieces of content that they need to read. So I love the third party validation. And a lot of companies need a security review or a SOC too. So I consider those pieces of content that you should probably get.
All right. We are going to wrap this up, and I'm going to come back and ask you some questions. All right. So first, just stick around. You don't have to go anywhere. There's nothing to click, nothing to launch, no other app to go in, nothing like that. We do our post-show meetup right here. So just stay where you are. Don't do anything, but please have your camera and microphone ready. If you want to be on camera and on the microphone, it's the best way to participate. Starting very soon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have our Cybersecurity Headlines Week in Review. We've got Cyrus Tibbs, who's the CISO of PennyMac. I had him on stage last year for the ISSA international event. Not international, ISSA event in Los Angeles, of which I'll be doing again this year for the fourth year in a row because of the pandemic. But it's the fourth time doing it. Yeah, definitely not in a row. But that will be hosted by Rich Stroffolino. So come join us for that. Also, stick around for a meetup. Remember, breakout rooms right after the show. And if you want to sponsor Super Cyber Friday, just email us at info@CISOseries.com. This new platform is fantastic. So I couldn't be happier about that. All right. I'm going to ask the question I ask always at the end of the show. We've got 6 minutes left. Gianna, this is your entire world now.
Mhm.
So again, we could go on for hours and hours, and you have events like this. By the way, if you are a marketer and you're not part of the Cybersecurity Marketing Society, you should definitely join. Just go to cybersecuritymarketingsociety.com. It's mostly being part of this phenomenal Slack group, which is great. What have we not discussed, which is a lot, but what one critical thing did we not discuss that we should have discussed?
Ooh, one critical thing that we did not discuss. So I think we forgot to mention that when you're reaching out to CISOs, you should offer them a $10 Arby's gift card in order to book a meeting with them. I think we completely
We
forgot
we
that.
we skipped the bad idea section. We're not
Oh.
doing that.
One
Come
thing
on.
we didn't discuss though is or we could discuss ad nauseum and forever is putting yourself in the empathetic point of view of your ICP and your buyer.
Yes. That is actually quite good advice. All right. Andy, what is one thing we didn't discuss we should have discussed?
So we touched around the edges of it, but I think we need to make very clear the next time you hear somebody say everybody sells, you should just call bullshit on that. The only people who sell it are the people on a quota. Everybody else markets. Even the people on quota are marketing. Marketing is fundamentally the lifeblood of your business. You do not have sales without marketing until you're so far an established brand that, of course, you're still doing marketing to stay ahead. But everybody markets and gets sales out of the way of marketing. Like, just because somebody says, "What do you do?" Not a sales opportunity. It's a marketing opportunity. Wait until somebody is in market to try to sell to them.
By the way, I did not also mention in my little last moment is that I'm going to show it again and put it full on the screen. If you have not registered for next week's event, please go do that. Click the little register button in the lower left-hand corner. Do that again. It won't take you out of this. It'll just pop open another window and you can register right there. Really good topic, hacking the security poverty line as well. All right, let me wrap this show up right now then. Huge thanks to my two guests, Andy Ellis, who is a principal over at Duha, and also co-host of the CISO Series podcast, and also the wonderful Gianna Whitver, the co-founder, and you're also president, yes, of the
CEO.
CEO. I didn't mean to demote you.
That's okay.
CEO of the Cybersecurity
CEO of
Marketing
like 4
Society.
people. It's a bullshit title.
Hey, I'm the CEO of like 2 people, which is why I just go with principal instead.
There you go. CEO of the Cybersecurity Marketing Society. Please go to the Cybersecurity Marketing Conference because it's a really fun event. I will say the fun factor is pretty friggin' high. It's pretty high.
Thank you. We
Right.
really put a lot of effort into that.
I know. And we love sponsoring and being a part of it as well. All
I
right.
will be there.
I'll be there too. With that being said, Josh, take us out and let's start the meetup portion so we can all chat. Again, you're all going to be thrown into, just before you start this, just explain quickly. You're all going to be thrown into groups. It's just sort of automatic the way the platform works, but you can move yourself in and out of rooms at any time. Don't feel bashful about doing it. Go ahead and just do it. All right.